is left behind. Civil society, the individual, and the state have to collaborate closely. Each level has to assume responsibility and ensure that the process is inclusive. The state creates institutions to guarantee an equitable distribution of prosperity. Equal opportunities, decent work conditions, and a proper redistribution system are indeed a driving force for prosperity, cohesion, stability, and peace. Ladies and gentlemen, the empowerment of the individual and solidarity go hand in hand. We all have a duty to tackle poverty and inequality in our societies and to break the cycle of deprivation caused by a lack of social justice and by unequal opportunities. At the same time, however, we must guard against a society that prioritizes individual freedom but forgets the power of human connection and social belonging. No country can do this alone. Such fundamental challenges require nations to come together and engage in a constructive dialogue based on international solidarity. The question of sustainability of our planet is a global challenge that has political but also moral dimensions because it appeals to our individual responsibility towards the here and now, as well as the future of mankind. This is a unique opportunity to recognize that we share the same values across our different cultures and that we have to unite our efforts around them towards the preservation of our planet. This is precisely what lies at the core of the United Nations with its Sustainable Development Goals strategy. These goals, with their concrete manifestation of social progress, are fully being addressed by the UN, taking into account all dimensions of the human being simultaneously: education, health, as well as the fight against hunger and poverty. Here, I have to mention, together with my wife, Queen Mathilde, who is very engaged in this matter, the absolute necessity to include women in the process. Indeed, there can be no social progress and no sustainable development in the world without the full participation of women. This is an essential matter of both global sustainability and human rights. Ladies and gentlemen, our work towards social progress starts at home. In Belgium, we have built a social system that aims to provide everyone with an equal chance to succeed in life. This system is fundamentally based on the redistribution of created wealth in a virtuous circle of adequate working conditions, entrepreneurial creativity, and economic dynamism. Social dialogue based on trust and a spirit of cooperation is key. However, this task is never complete and requires us to be responsive and creative. The European Union has harmonized the economic development of its member states with a focus on social progress. This European project is based on the respect of human rights. The Digital Services Act package is an example, an excellent example of the way the EU is dealing with the new realities affecting the social area while protecting the privacy of its citizens. Other continents, too, successfully combine social progress with their own traditions. I'm convinced that different experiences enrich and stimulate our shared commitment towards sustainable social development. Ladies and gentlemen, let my conclusion be clear. Social progress as a cornerstone of peaceful and sustainable world can only be achieved if each and every one of us works day by day in our own countries and between nations to remove all that is causing division and prejudice. We should spare no effort to build bridges and create the spirit of trust and hope for the future. Thank you.
I thank the King of the Belgians. I invite His Excellency Shavkat Mirziyoyev, President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, to address the Assembly.
Hurmatli rais xonim oliylari, hurmatli bosh kotib janob oliylari, hurmatli davlatlar va hukumatlar rahbarlari, qadrli birodarim Katar amiri Shayx Tamim al-Sani a'lo hazratlariga butun jahon sammitining yuksak darajada tashkil etayotganlari va samimiy mehmondo'stlik uchun chuqur minnatdorchilik izhor etaman. Birlashgan Millatlar Tashkiloti bosh kotibi Antonio Guterres janob oliylariga ushbu anjumanni o'tkazishdagi ulkan shaxsiy hissalari uchun alohida tashakkur bildiraman. Global ijtimoiy taraqqiyot uchun muhim platforma bo'lgan sammitning aynan Doha shahrida o'tkazilayotganini katta ramziy ma'noga ega. Katar davlati so'nggi yillarda ijtimoiy inkluzivlik va jadal taraqqiyotning global markaziga aylanmoqda. Bunday olamshumul yutuqlar bilan Katar xalqini chin dildan tabriklayman. Bugungi kunda ijtimoiy farovonlikni ta'minlash, aholi turmushini yaxshilash borasida dunyo hamjamiyati va milliy hukumatlar birgalikda harakat qilayotgani e'tiborga molikdir. O'zbekiston barqaror taraqqiyot sari barcha xalqaro hamkorlik formatlari va tashabbuslarini doim qo'llab-quvvatlaydi. Hurmatli xonimlar va janoblar, biz keyingi yillarda yangi O'zbekistonda inson qadri tamoyili ustuvor bo'lgan, ijtimoiy adolat ta'minlangan, ehtiyojmand aholi samarali himoya qilingan jamiyat barpo etmoqdamiz. Bu yo'ldagi qat'iy pozitsiyamiz yangi konstitutsiyamizda mustahkamlab qo'yildi hamda mamlakatning ijtimoiy davlat makoni e'lon qilindi. Avval tarqoq bo'lgan ijtimoiy himoya dasturlari yagona tuzilma ijtimoiy himoya milliy agentlik asosida birlashtirildi. Yangi ijtimoiy himoya modelimiz jamiyatimizning quy bug'uni bo'lgan mahalladan boshlab har bir xonadon va oilani qamrab olmoqda. Oxirgi yillarda kambag'allik darajasi 35% dan 6.6% gacha qisqartirishga erishdik. Bu islohotlarni bundan keyin ham davom ettiramiz. Hurmatli sammit ishtirokchilari, jahonda murakkab iqtisodiy, ijtimoiy jarayonlar kechayotgan hozirgi sharoitda quyidagi takliflarni ilgari surmoqchiman. Birinchidan, kambag'allikka qarshi kurashda xalqaro hamkorlikning yangi bosqichga ko'tarish muhim. Birlashgan Millatlar Tashkiloti ma'lumotiga ko'ra, bugungi kunda dunyoda 1 milliard 100 million aholi kambag'allikda umr kechirmoqda. rivojlanayotgan davlatlar ijtimoiy dasturlariga resurslarni keng jalb etish maqsadida kambag'allikka qarshi kurashishning yangi moliyaviy arxitekturasini yaratish vaqti keldi deb hisoblaymiz. Bu borada ijtimoiy tengsizlikning kamaytirish, kambag'allikning qisqartirishga amaliy yordam beradigan global ijtimoiy adolat fondini ta'sis etishni taklif etamiz. Ikkinchidan, bandlik masalasini samarali hal etishda yangi zamonaviy mexanizmlarni ishga tushirish dolzarbdir. Xalqaro mehnat tashkilotining hisobotiga ko'ra 2024-yilda global ishsizlik darajasi 5% ni tashkil etdi. Yuqori texnologiyalar, sun'iy intellektning jadal kirib kelayotgani dunyoda millionlab ish o'rinlarining yo'qotilishiga olib kelmoqda. Bunday sharoitda hukumatlar va biznes ijtimoiy hamkor sifatida xodimlarini qo'llab-quvvatlashga katta ahamiyat berishi zarur. Shu munosabat bilan ijtimoiy mas'uliyat va munosib mehnat bo'yicha global tashabbusni ishlab chiqish taklifimizni ma'qullaysizlar deb ishonaman. Uchinchidan, barcha uchun ta'lim imkoniyatlarini kengaytirish orqali ijtimoiy muammolarga samarali yechim topish mumkin. Hozirgi davrda savodsizlikning yillik iqtisodiy zarari 1.4 trillion AQSh dollariga teng deb baholanmoqda. Bu esa yosh avlodning ijtimoiy hayot va mehnat bozorida o'z o'rnini topishini qiyinlashtirmoqda hamda tengsizlikning keskin o'sishiga sabab bo'lmoqda. Biz kecha o'tgan ochlik va qashshoqlikka qarshi kurashish bo'yicha global alyansning ilk uchrashuvi qarorlarini to'liq ma'qullaymiz. Uning kelgusi sammitlardan birini O'zbekistonda o'tkazish va ta'lim masalalarini asosiy kun tartibini sifatida belgilashni taklif qilamiz. To'rtinchidan, mehnat migrantlari va ularning oila a'zolarini tizimli himoya qilish zaruriyati ortib bormoqda. Hozirgi kunda dunyoda 300 milliondan ortiq migrantlar o'zga yurtlarda mehnat qilmoqda. Afsuski, ular haq-huquqlarining buzilish holatlarini ko'proq uchramoqda. Kelgusi yili xalqaro mehnat va migratsiya tashkilotlari bilan birgalikda O'zbekistonda migrantlar va ularning oilalarining ijtimoiy va huquqiy himoya qilish bo'yicha xalqaro forum o'tkazish global dastur qabul qilishni taklif etaman. Beshinchidan, barchamiz iqlim o'zgarishlarining ijtimoiy hayotda ta'sirini yaqqol sezib turibmiz. Ekstremal ob-havo, cho'llanish, bioxilma-xillik yo'qotilishi, eng avvalo zaif qatlamlar, dehqonlar, mavsumiy ishchilar, ekologik murakkab mintaqalar aholisi hayotida salbiy ta'sir ko'rsatmoqda. Iqlim o'zgarishiga qarshi kurashning bandlik dasturi bilan uyg'unlashtirish bo'yicha kompleks choralar ko'rish juda dolzarbdir. Bu borada biz Birlashgan Millatlar Tashkiloti rezolyutsiyasi bilan ekologik innovatsiyalar va texnologiyalar hududi deb e'lon qilingan Orol bo'yi mintaqasida ijtimoiy-iqtisodiy taraqqiyotning yangi modelini ishga tushirish niyatdamiz va bu tajribamiz jahon hamjamiyati bilan o'rtoqlashishga tayyormiz. Hurmatli delegatsiya rahbarlari, bugun biz qabul qilinayotgan qarorlar jahondagi millionlab odamlarga ishonch va umid bag'ishlashi, barqarorlik va farovonlik ta'minlashga salmoqli hissa qo'shishi shubhasiz. Xalqaro taraqqiyot yo'lida ijtimoiy kelishuvni yangilash, har bir inson uchun munosib hayot tarzini yaratish bizning asosiy burchimizdir. Shu ma'noda bugun qabul qilayotgan Doha siyosiy deklaratsiyasini to'liq qo'llab-quvvatlaymiz. Biz unda belgilangan tamoyillarni hayotga to'liq tatbiq etishga tayyormiz. Hech shubhasiz, ushbu tarixiy deklaratsiya barqaror rivojlanish maqsadlariga erishish yo'lida umumiy sa'y-harakatlarimizni kuchaytirishga xizmat qiladi. So'zimning yakunida barchangizga omad va yutuqlar, butun jahon sammiti ishiga esa muvaffaqiyatlar tilayman. E'tiborlaringiz uchun rahmat.
I thank the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan. I invite His Excellency Emomali Rahmon, President of the Republic of Tajikistan, to address the Assembly.